All right, testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Okay, it worked. Okay, so yeah, this is a part two because the last video I did, the stream got cut out halfway through. All right, you know what's going on with that. If you know, you know. But so I'm just finishing up basically this last clip or this continuing on from this last video. All right, and yeah, so let's start off where I left off in the last video.
Services, who was the darling of the libertarian press, and was famously the first city in America to privatize nearly all government services. It was the darling of the libertarian press, everything for profit, nothing public, and a consulting firm making a little cash off taxpayers at every juncture.
Yeah, okay.
Whose extra taxes for corporate profit started adding up, though. Eventually, Sandy Springs unprivatized, saving taxpayers millions of dollars a year. There were also nascent communities focused on Christian
that's incredible. I did not know that story.
values that the network state media heralds. Battleground Washington, where a data center billionaire was buying up all the property to own the town, the mayor was on his payroll, and Highland Rim, a series of developments in Appalachia run by the investment firm New Founding. And that's not even including the California Forever Project, a proposed tech city in Solano County funded by Mark Andreessen, Reid Hoffman, Sam Altman, and other billionaires. But what if this was never really about these little mini governments? Here's Peter Thiel saying the quiet part out loud in 2010.
Technology is this incredible alternative to politics, and the task in this world where politics has become so broken and so dysfunctional is to find a way to escape from it.
Jesus Christ, man. He's openly saying, fuck democracy, fuck one person, one vote, fuck everybody having a say. Let's use like an AI god to do the decision making for us, and you have no rights. You're basically a fucking slave in a feudal tech system.
Instead of politics, we already had Doge and Palantir becoming the operating system of the United States, with a stated goal of being more powerful than the governments using it. How can we help the government stop the bad guys while also putting systems in place to make sure nobody within the government was doing anything inappropriate? You have to have systems that watch the watchers. After leaving Palantir, Lonsdale, through his firm HDC, continued investments in what's called GovTech, tech for government clients. That's surveillance tech, AI drones, AI weapons, even tech to replace 911 with AI. All aim to replace, privatize, and profit from tasks normally attributed to democratically accountable officials.
What's happening now, though, is that the companies are becoming more powerful than the governments they serve. We suddenly have all these billionaire oligarchs spending so much money, they were able to actually capture the federal government with Trump. So there's this interesting moment where we're getting a glimpse of what government by technology company would look like.
And Lonsdale is working to convince you that we need this by making you scared. Lonsdale founded the Cicero Institute, a think tank that pushes anti-homeless messaging. Not anti-homeless mismessaging, but messaging attacking the homeless themselves. And even legislation creating concentration camps where unhoused people would do forced labor.
You actually can go into states, you can like partner with governors, you can pass laws, Cicero's in 15 states, we're getting dozens of laws passed, and then we're going to teach people that and go to the national level.
Riling people up is definitely part of their game plan. That's what we saw in the San Francisco recalls. San Francisco had a spike in crime during the pandemic, but so did almost every big city in the United States. Only in San Francisco, which has extremely low crime rates compared to most cities in red states, did they create this massive panic using social media and doom influencers to convince everybody that everything was working.
Yeah, and in the last clip, they got cut out. I was mentioning how they include us as those doom influencers, right? I'm doing a lesson where I do lessons called Doomsday Prophecy. And remember, Donald Trump, he had mentioned, don't listen to those perennial prophets of doom. Okay? We know who he's talking about.
Never been.
And as Lonsdale got into nonprofits and think tanks, Patrick Friedman, remember him, Milton Friedman's grandson, started his own VC firm with backing from Peter Thiel called Pronomos Capital, existing entirely for investing in privatized governments. In Honduras, Pronomos invested in the first government run entirely by a for-profit corporation, Prospera.
Prospera is this little enclave on the island of Roatan in Honduras that claims to be its own little charter city that was funded by American venture capitalists and has been touted as the flagship project of the network state movement.
But the real flagship project is something bigger. The entire United States government. It shows in policy. Remember the whole thing about taking over Greenland? That idea emerged and was celebrated by the people we've been talking about.
Thank you, More Perfect Union, for finally connecting the dots. The person who we had as like ambassador to Greenland was a Peter Thiel guy. And Peter Thiel famously said, when that pick happened, it's all going according to plan. Because again, this is the idea. The idea is to basically steal the country, have their fucking natural resources, have natural cooling for the data centers they want to build there, and make it one of these weird, feudal, tech slave states that has no democracy whatsoever and runs like a private corporation with a CEO king at the top. That's what it is. And finally, somebody's saying it. The media never goes this deep. Regular media never.
We've been saying it. We've been saying it. Starting with the apostles of Great Millstone on down. Okay, we've been saying this. That people just don't listen and they don't like. Right. Well, the scriptures tell us that the poor man's wisdom is despised. Okay. But it's coming a day where these events that are taking place are going to escalate to a point where people are going to have no choice but to acknowledge what the prophets are saying and have been saying. Okay. So this is Micah 2 and 1. All right. It says, what sorrow awaits in NLT? You who lie awake at night thinking up evil plans, You rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out, simply because you have the power to do so. When you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. When you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. You cheat a man of his property is stealing his family's inheritance. But this is what the Lord Yahweh says: I will reward your evil with evil. Okay, all these billionaire oligarchies are going to get their due judgment. All right, in due time. All right, which is really quickly, very soon, for all the wickedness that they've done throughout the four corners of the earth, and especially to our people. Okay, because the main target of these Edomites, all right, the upper echelons of the nation of Edom, starting with international bankers on down to these billionaire stooges, is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right, which are Israelites, the Bible speaks of. Okay, the Lord is going to repay them for all their evil. You won't be able to pull your neck out of the noose. You will no longer walk around proudly, for it will be a terrible time. That's right. Let's go from here to Ezekiel 7 and 10. In the NLT, it says, the day of judgment is here. Your destruction awaits. The people's wickedness and pride have blossomed to a full flower. Their violence has grown into a rod that will beat them for their wickedness. None of these proud and wicked people will survive. All their wealth and prestige will be swept away. Yes, the time has come. The day is here. Buyers should not rejoice over bargainings, nor sellers grieve over losses, for all of them will fall under my terrible anger. Even if the merchants survive, they will never return to their businesses. For what Yahweh Bashimasha has said applies to everyone. Yeah, because everything is evolving and moving forward, right? You will never see the world before C19, just like we were not going to see this world anymore, right? The scriptures say the fashion of this world fadeth away, okay? For what Yahweh has said applies to everyone. It will not be changed. Not one person whose life is twisted by sin will ever recover, okay? The trumpet calls, yeah, that's the point right there, okay? Now, let's finish up this clip. I got a little bit more I want to play. We'll move fast ahead here to the 14th minute mark.
Went to Honduras and promised investment in real estate and technology there, including an investment in La Ceiba, which is slated to be absorbed by Prospera. But it's more than just government handouts. It's war crimes.
So we did a master plan, and we've developed ways to redevelop Gaza. Gaza, as President Trump's been saying, has amazing potential, and this is for the people of Gaza. We've developed it into zones.
It was sort of insane to see it all come together in this way. But again, wherever you look these days with Trump or with these tech guys, there's always the idea of a new city that they're proposing. And it's not clear why we need these new cities. You know, Gaza should be rebuilt for the Palestinians, but these guys see it as an opportunity to take the land. And so that shows you the degree to which this thinking is starting to imbue everything that they do.
Look at how the people in this fringe movement reacted to other invasions. In 2019, Mark Lutter, leader of a Peter Thiel-funded New City think tank, said that overthrowing the Venezuelan government would be an opportunity for these projects. And when the invasion did happen, Lutter suggested America establish a Florida or Texas-style government there. He cites America paying for a wholesale development plan after regime change.
It's like as if we have the fucking right. As if this is their land, this is their country. And now, as you all know, we're stealing the gold and we're stealing the oil. And then there was just a fucking earthquake there that leveled the fucking place. And now they're probably going to be exploited even more. You're going to have these fucking vultures go in there and exploit it even more, changing their tax system, changing the structure of the government. I mean, it's just, these people, they're demonic, bro. They truly are. The guy who's obsessed with the Antichrist is himself the fucking Antichrist.
This is exactly what we're doing in Iran today, to the tune of $300 billion. Tom Lucky, Lonsdale and Thiel associate and founder of AI defense contractor Anduril, pictured here in cosplay, suggested a privatized city on Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, which President Trump also friended with the invasion. Again, nobody wants this. They know that. That's why they hate populism. That's why they hate democratic representation, despite all of this being couched in freedom.
What they're asking for is to exit entirely from any government structure. But that's just not how it works, especially when most of these guys are government contractors and are still wanting to have the benefits of our society without having the responsibilities of our society.
These people who don't like being told no, they're angry at the pushback against data centers, that we don't want AI to take over everything, that no one supports annihilating a civilization to replace it with one they can profit from.
People need to understand that the billionaires have become radicalized against democracy, and they're in the process of using everything they have to try to destroy it. And that's the battle of our moment. That's the battle of our time.
It's not too late to push back. Public response to data centers works. Many of the governance as a service startups are starting their work in towns and states where you can still have a voice to stop them. The billionaire class wants to turn your home
Yeah, it's not going to work. This is all going to move as according to plan, right? Because this is the Most High's plan. All this is according to Yahweh, well, Yahweh Shai, all right? Yahweh Bashem Shai, and really the Most High, okay? So I'm going to close it up with this here. This is Habakkuk 2 and 7. It reads, let me get this in the, yeah, I'll get this in the NLT. I'll start from 3. Actually, Habakkuk 2 and 3. It says the vision is for a future time, all right? And we're in that future time. It describes the end, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, right? So continue to hold on, all right, and press on through faith, all right, and fear in Yahweh Bashem Shai, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed. Look at the proud; they trust in themselves, and their lives are crooked. But the righteous will live by their faithfulness to Yahweh Bashem Shai. That's right. The wealth is treacherous, and the arrogant are never at rest. They open their mouth as wide as the grave, and like death, they are never satisfied. In their greed, they had gathered up many nations and swallowed up many peoples. Okay, and they plan to do that once again via the microchip. All right, RFID chip. But soon their captives will taunt them. They will mock them, saying, "What sorrow awaits you, thieves? Now you will get what you deserve. You've become rich by extortion. But how much longer can this go on? Suddenly your debtors will take action. They will turn on you and take all you have while you stand trembling and helpless. Right? So it's not going to work out. The evil schemes, all right, the schemes of these of the wicked will not prosper, man. All right. So, anyways, I'm gonna close, Lord willing. This was straightforward and edifying to the elect. Give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachad HaKadash. All right, double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, the great most will rule well. I've taught them this word in truth and sincerity. Peace and mercy to the elect, starting with 144,000. Right? That's pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. And the rest of the elect, peace and mercy to you and your household. Stay strong and hold tight, all right, to this crown, this faith,